So let's take our hands across the globe. I know there's a lot of people from different places in the world today, and I want to welcome you to this special celebration. Let's just go inside for a moment. And let's welcome the angel of dance and the angel of Findhorn to bless us for this lovely occasion, bringing the Findhorn Sacred Dance family closer together. In joy and in peace around the globe. Welcome, everyone. And yes, now I am going to give you over to Peter. He's going to introduce what he's got so much memories and things to tell you, and we have many dances to bring you with the live music, of course, which I'm very excited about. So, Peter.
Thank you, Brant, for that beautiful introduction and welcome. So, I'm here with Kate and Rory. We have a long history. We are going to have a little slideshow to explore that history later on, but you'll see we are together but divided. We have a little screen here. We're doing all the social distancing thing because Kate and Rory in a bubble. Sue and I, Sue, come and join me now. We're going to be dancing together, and you'll see Brant and Cunier will be dancing behind us sometimes as well.
To the teaching.
So if we were in the hall at the start of the festival, normally Rory's bagpipes would call us all together and we'd start dancing without any teaching. But we just briefly tell you what we're going to do for the dance. We're going to do a simple Lesnoto. So we're going to be holding hands together in W, walking to the right, going right. Bounce, step, side, touch the left and touch the right. Or it's possible that I might start lifting at a certain point, which is perhaps a little bit more traditional for the men, while the women would be touching the ground.
Oh, come on.
So, the women staying closer to the earth, connected to the mother, the men soaring towards the sun. So, the bagpipes are going to appear. Brant and Cunier, why don't you come round behind and calling everybody in to join the line to celebrate the spring. So, Rory, would you like to tell us something about your gaida?
My gaida comes from Bulgaria, Macedonia area, and I've had a couple of them over the years. Lawrence Fry once told me that it's easier to get a new gaida than to fix one that's gone wrong. So this is my second incarnation. And it's a beautiful instrument. It's a goat turned inside out and various single reeds stuck in the other bits. And it's meant for reveling and not for calling people into battle, so far as I know. Very civilized instrument.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So, Brant, if you just put the headphones on for a moment, I'd just like to check with Tatiana that the sound's all right out there in Zoom land. So, Tatiana, just tell Brant how it's sounding. We're going to another Macedonian thing next. We have a number of other socially distanced mass technicians in the room with us. Brian is on sound. And just to check that while I'm dancing, I'm muted. Brian's giving me lots of thumbs up here. This is very good. And although most of the time you're just seeing one camera shot, you will be seeing other camera things. And we have the wonderful Nikki on cameras. So we're going to do Dimna Juda next, another Macedonian dance. I walk you through the steps. We're going to go to the right, going side, behind, touch, and touch. 1, 2, 3, touch, and touch. Side, behind, and touch, right, left, right, touch, and touch. So we do 4 of these. Then we do a 5th one, side, behind, side, touch, and a 3rd touch. And then we go back to the left, going side, behind, and touch, and touch, and touch. So 4 with 2 touches, and then into the 3 touches. So we go side, behind, side, touch, and touch. Right, left, left, and touch right. 3, 2, 3, 4, and then side, behind, and touch. That's 4. With the 5th, you'll hear the music changes, and you know you're going to go back to the left and side, da, dee da 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 dee da 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 dee dum ba da dee da dum dum dee da dee da da dee da dee da da dee da 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 dee da ya da dee da 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 dee da.
Well done, Peter.
Very good, very good. I'm going to invite Sue back in to dance with me.
This is a song about Dimna Juda, the evil wood nymph. Remember Dimna Juda, the evil wood nymph who used the young women for the staves of her compound. Forgive me, I can't remember the rest of it. Yeah. But it's
She's a kind of Baba Yaga figure of transformation.
Okay.
So although she is referred in the translation to an evil wood nymph, she may actually be a wood nymph of transformation.
Yeah. Fair enough, like all of us. So we'll go through the tune as an introduction. 2, 3, 4. Dimna Juda mamo grad gradila, Dimna Juda mamo grad gradila, Dimna Juda mamo grad gradila, na planina mamo na planina, na planina mamo na planina. Whoop. zaglavenje, stoje holje mamo pobivala, sveje genje mamo zaglavenje, sveje genje mamo zaglavenje. Mamo zapričala se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Što je priče mamo zapričala se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Dimna Juda mamo gradila, na planina mamo navlajina, na planina mamo navlajina. Mamo pobivala, sveje genje mamo zaglavenje. Što je holje mamo pobivala, sveje genje mamo zaglavenje, sveje genje mamo zaglavenje. Mamo zapričala se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Što je priče mamo zapričala se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Se, devojke mamo zamaženje. Juda mamo gradila, Dimna Juda mamo gradila, Dimna Juda mamo gradila, na planina mamo navlajina, na planina mamo navlajina.
Thunderous applause once more. So we're going to go back and forwards between Brant and I teaching dances. And so I'm going to invite Brant to take the floor now for the next dance.
So I believe we're doing a little Syrtos. And very simple steps. I'll just show you the steps. A Greek song, obviously. And I don't know if Kate's got anything more to about the music. No? Yes. So I'll just show you the steps. We're going to do a simple 12-step, which is right, left, and left, right, left. Side, behind, replace, side, and behind, replace. I'm just going to do it from the back here for you. So we have right, right, and left, right, left, side, behind, replace, side, behind, replace. 1 and 2, 3. Yeah, so we will do it again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and side, behind, replace, side, behind, replace. Left, right, and yeah, and it goes round like that. So Yeah, I think everybody probably knows it here because I know you're all avid dancers. Yes, I think we're okay with that, yeah?
I'll give you a little bit of a wail.
Kune can come over here.
I'll give you a little bit of a wail beginning.
Yes, there's going to be a little bit of a wail at the beginning, and then we'll start.
Not too
I'll start from here, maybe. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yay. And I just love that. Arms up in the air to the past and to the future. So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. And now I think it's back over to Peter. Is that correct?
Ambi Dagitz.
Oh, it's Ambi Dagitz next. Okay. So the next one is an Armenian dance. And yeah, I've got a bit of a story with this dance. And when I first started getting into sacred circle and traditional dances, I used to play this dance in the music in my car. Everywhere I went, this music. I knew nothing about it, and slowly by slowly found out about it, and asked a dance teacher to teach me it. And I was taught in an Armenian way, and so when I came to Findhorn, to the community, I was working up in the community centre in home care, cleaning everything in the community centre. And I did it with Rory. And then I realized, well, he kind of told me, because I was telling him about this brilliant piece of music that I love dancing to, Ambi Dagitz. Rory says, do you know I'm the one who is actually singing on that? And we had such fun with that, didn't we, Rory? Yeah. And so I thought I'd bring this dance to you today, and I'll just teach you the steps. So the steps, maybe I'll start from this side actually and just show you. It's Armenian, so it has got a little bit of a bounce in the knees. And we have W hold. And we're going to do an Armenian two-step, which is right, and left, right, left. Now we're going to side and behind for a little dip. And now we're going to turn around our right shoulder, and that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and touch. And we're going to go back around the left shoulder. 1, 2, 3, and touch. And when we do the touch, we clap. So I'm going to show you that all the way through. So we go. I'm going to go this way, actually. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, side, behind, and turn, 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 and clap. 1, 2, 3, and clap. And I'm doing the male, traditionally the male hands, but there is another way I'm going to show you, which Kune will be doing. And let's do it together, Kune, actually. Yes, I'll go on this side, so you can see. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, side, behind, turn and turn and turn and turn. Turn and turn and turn and turn. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, side, behind, turn and turn, turn and clap. Turn and turn, turn and clap. So I wonder if we can get a show of hands, Peter. Do you think we need to run through it once more? Maybe I'll do it from the back just so you can see it again. Just once more. Right, left, right, left, side, behind, turn, 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 clap, turn, 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 and clap. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, side, behind, turn, 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 clap, turn, 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 and clap. And at the end, it gets rather fast, so be prepared. Yeah, yes. Okay, and yes, the other thing about this dance, I just tell the little story quickly. I seen the lyrics, and the lyrics are talking about my beloved is in the mountains. Somebody's beloved is in the mountains, crying because they love you so much. And the river that runs down the mountain is their tears. And if only they knew in their tears was the powerful idea of the pain and the love. So that is what the lyrics are about. And it's just such a beautiful, vibrant song. So, yes. So let's do that.
Thank you. You get me singing today, not Rory.
Yes, and Kate's singing today, which is
My best Armenian.
fantastic. Yes. Do you have anything to add about this song? No? Okay, let's do it.
Drum intro.
Yeah.
Ambi Dagitz jurekali, doshitali perperum. Ambi Dagitz jurekali, doshitali perperum. Emom yane neshtatslali, longo longo rensarum. Emom yane neshtatslali, ongo hongo rensarum. Ay bajura zula lyra, bogali sexiare ritz. Ay bajura zula lyra, bogali sexiare ritz. Gali sansum hando chöla, yar selk met sedjöritz. Gali sansum hando chöla, yar selk met sedjöritz. Ay chikoyan yegavatsav, vavats gavats kosirov. Ay chikoyan yegavatsav, vavats gavats kosirov. Evad yegron yegovatsav, chehovatsav vazhirov. Evad yegron yegovatsav, chehovatsav vazhirov. Hey, Ambi Dagitz jurekali, doshitali perperum. Ambi Dagitz jurekali, doshitali perperum. Emom yane neshtatslali, longo longo rensarum. Emom yane neshtatslali, longo longo rensarum. Ay vajura zula lyra, bogali sexiare ritz. Ay vajura zula lyra, bogali sexiare ritz. Gali sansum hando chöla, yar selk met sedjöritz. Gali sansum hando chöla, yar selk met sedjöritz. Ay chikoyan yegavatsav, vavatavats kosirov. Ay chikoyan yegavatsav, vavatavats kosirov. Evad yegron yegovatsav, chehovatsav vazhirov. Ay chiyegron yegovatsav, chehovatsav vazhirov. La 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 la
Energy there, Kate and Rory. Thank you.
You felt
Thank you
better.
very much. Wow. I don't think the beloved's crying anymore. I think they've had the big dance there. Thank you. So now, Peter, we call you.
So, Lo Yisa Goy, next. We're going to do this dance, and then it's on to the slideshow. So, Lo Yisa Goy, many of you may be familiar with this song from Libana. It's their recording we learned it from. And Lo Yisa Goy, like many dances from Israel, the words from the Bible. Isaiah, I believe, Kate.
Isaiah, indeed, Isaiah himself.
Would you like to tell us exactly what Isaiah said?
Isaiah said, and I'm hoping that some of you are going to sing with me later, but Peter's going to teach the dance first. Lo Yisa Goy el Goy cherev. The words are coming up on the chat, I hope. Lo Yisa Goy el Goy cherev. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall they make war anymore. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall they make war any more.
So this dance, choreographed by Rufus Maychild. It'd be interesting if anybody out there knows Rufus. Rufus came up many years ago to the dance festival. We're going to teach you the steps. And you can, as Kate will explain in a minute, you can sing the song in a round and you can do the dance in a round as well. And there is a recording somewhere from the festival of us doing just this. So the steps, going to the right, we're going side and touch, in and left, left, 2, 3, side, right, touch the left, and back, 2, 3. So it's side and touch, in, left, side, right, touch the left, go back, left, right, left. And then we're going to grapevine to the left, beginning with the right foot. So we're going to lift the right foot up to let you know this is about to happen. And then we're going side, behind, side, and front, side, behind, side, and front, side, behind, side, and front. And to let you know we're about to go back the other way, I'm going to lift the left foot, and then we're going to go front, side, behind, side, front, side, behind, side, front, side, behind, side, front, side, behind, and then we're going back to the beginning again. I just show you the way it ends. It's going to go front, side, behind, ready to begin again. So we'll join the two parts together this time. Side and touch and in, 2, 3. Side and touch and back, 2, 3. Right and left, in, left, 2, 3. Side, right, touch to left, left, 2, 3, right, grapevine, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, dum, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, da, ya, da, dee, and side and touch, in, 2, 3, side and touch and back, 2, 3, side and touch. And so, Kate, would you like to talk us through the singing? Sue will come in to join me with the dancing.
Okay, there's just a couple of things. I remember when Rufus taught us this, he said that the first bit is like the Greek key pattern that some of us may remember was on embroidery, that in and out pattern. And the other thing is, I love watching Peter teach dancing, this ya, da, da, da. It's so lovely. What more can I say? What I want to do is, I know some of you will know this song, and if we were all together in the room, there would be this fabulous chorus of people singing it, and if you can't manage the words, you'd be just singing the tune, la 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 la. And at the end, I know we're going to do it a cappella, which means without instruments. And again, in my ideal place where we were all together, suddenly we'd all be standing, just singing, Lo Yisa Goy, these powerful words. But what the hell, let's try it on Zoom. And I'm going to sing a line, and my friends here are going to sing it back to me. And you're going to sing it. And remember that there's nobody at home, so if you get it wrong, it doesn't matter. Yisa Goy, El Goy, Erev. So that's the first line, it goes. Lo Yisa Goy, El Goy, Erev. Let's try that. Lo Yisa Goy, El Goy, Erev. One more time for luck. Lo Yisa Goy, El Goy, Erev. Second bit. Lo Yimadu Od Milchama. Try that. Lo Yimadu Od Milchama. Those of you with low voices, women, you will be delighted. Those of you with very high voices, forgive me. My voice is low. You might like to do it up in the stratospheres. Lo Yisa Goy, El Goy Erev. Some of you will be doing that. Let's try those two lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lo Yisa Goy, El Goy different. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yumadu Od Milchama. And then again. Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yumadu Od Milchama. So the first one goes up, second one goes down. Mostly I'm giving this to those of you who already know it. Have some fun with it. Or you might just decide you'd like to sing with me, which would be really nice. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall we make war anymore. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Grapevine. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Erev Lo Yamadu Od Milchama. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall we make war anymore. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you. That was brilliant.
Oh, it would be nice if I could see you all.
We will look at each other in a minute. So, we're going to move to slideshow in a minute, but before we move to slideshow, again, improvising. Nikki, it'd be good to get a shot of what I'm wearing and what Sue's wearing. And Brant, if you went behind, then we'll also have a look at what Brant is wearing. So, if you go to Bulgaria, Koprivnica, one of the big dance festivals that perhaps a few of you out there have been. So when Sue and I went there, we did quite a lot of sacred shopping. So the shirts, traditional Bulgarian, and the waistcoat and the belt. Sue, I don't know if you're able to zoom in on this, Nikki. Sue's got rather a beautiful silver belt here. The rest of her costume actually not Bulgarian, the skirt.
And the weaving is quite extraordinary. It's very detailed. And in fact, what they do is the women weave this on special looms. And they weave it into huge rolls. And actually, this is the belt that I made. I cut off from the larger roll. But often the women would have straps going across them and round the back and then round their waists. So beautiful.
Oh, if we just zoom in again, those of you who know Laura Shannon will be familiar with her talking about the goddess embroideries, which you see not that clearly on here. You get them on the men's shirts as well. And you also, I think, Brant, if you turn round, oh, and then you have to move your hair. Oh no, it's actually a wrong waistcoat. Anyway.
It was nice to see the back of your neck.
No, it's at the side. You have to turn, sorry, at the side. So if you zoom in here on this pattern, you have to kind of imagine Brant turned on his side one way or another. This David Roberts, you'll see in the slideshow. Oh, stay zoomed in on this embroidery, because it's actually it's an older piece, older than mine, felt and gold thread. And this was a gift from David Roberts, who was up here some years ago. And we got a couple of pieces from him, one from Philip Thornton's collection. Again, some of you may be familiar with Philip. If not, look up his book. I think this actually, David used to dance regularly in Romania with a Romanian couple, and I think he might just have got it there. But a very nice piece that Brant is wearing. And
I'd like to draw attention to my socks.
Yes, excellent.
well, no, actually, Sue and I are wearing our traditional Bulgarian shoes, but Sue's socks are much more impressive than mine.
So these socks were hand knitted by the lovely ladies in Koprivnica, in the mountain areas. They're beautiful, they're very warm, and obviously meant for wintry wear, but no, not always. I mean, the grandmothers would wear them traditionally. And the amazing thing was that even though it was a bright, hot summer's day, the grandmothers particularly would be wearing quite heavy felted jackets and woolen socks and quite heavy clothes. And as Laura will tell you, they were really weighty, and that's one of the reasons why when the women take small steps.
Thank you, Sue. So we're going to slideshow now. So this is Dartington College of Arts, where it all started. This is Kate here on the ground. And Kate studied here in the 1970s. And before I'd met Kate, in 1980, I decided I was going to go to dance school and I was going to go to Dartington College of Arts to study dance, never having been to a dance class in my life. So I started telling people this, and most people expressed surprise. However, one person went, "I just met somebody who went to Dartington. I'm going to invite you round to dinner." Although I think somehow he managed to persuade Kate to invite us round to dinner. And then we met, and Kate was doing dance classes. So I got to go to one dance class before my audition at Dartington. And without that class, the history of the world might be different, because I might never have got in. And once I got to Dartington, I met David Roberts and Sacred Dance. So Kate and I were both taught by the same woman, Mary Fulkerson, who does a form of dance called release dance, which I think still, Kate, to this day, informs our way of being in the world.
Oh, can't you tell? Yes.
Do you want to say anything about Dartington, or shall we move on?
No, well, just that it opened me up to being totally creative and, yeah.
We have very few pictures of Kate, Rory, and myself together. So this is me here, this is Kate here, and this is Rory at the back. So I just wanted to start with this. This is one of the earlier festivals when we'd have stories and children's dancing outside. So
This is my favourite picture of all time. This was us in the dance studio at Findhorn. You'll see Rory, young Rory. You'll see young Barbara Swatina, who a lot of you will know. You'll see me. And the clue that it's 32 years ago is that little baby in my arms who went everywhere with me. And then on the end on the harp is Lily Kellogg. This was our very first circle dance band when I moved up to Findhorn and met Rory and Barbara and Lily, who were already cooking a bit.
So we've just got a few early photos now.
That's
of
me with a red nose. And Lucy Fredman. Lucy, it was a delight when I met Lucy, because her fabulous voice, which really complemented mine.
And from a similar period, Rory himself.
Playing the Irish pipes.
So while I was at Dartington, David Roberts came to teach a one-day workshop in sacred dance. David had left Findhorn in the 70s, moved to Sussex and taught regularly there and travelled. So I went along to this day workshop in sacred dance and couldn't do a single thing, because Dartington was not about steps, it was about improvisation. But although I didn't manage to learn any of the dances, I was completely hooked on the whole thing. So I decided that I wanted to go to Findhorn, this was 1982, and do a dance course. But the only dance course available was a 3-week sacred dance teacher training with Anna Barton. So I went from doing 1 day of dance to 3 weeks of dance. So this is the teacher training here. Many of you will know Anna Barton. This is myself over here. And this is Judith Bone, who some of you will know. So this was 1982. So I did the 3-week sacred dance teacher training, and for the first 4 or 5 days, I couldn't actually dance because I just couldn't get. And then I remember we were doing Manavu, and the up and down bit in Manavu, I started doing the up and down bit in Manavu at the same time as everybody else. So that was a big step forward. And then by the end of the 3 weeks, I had learned how to dance. So to anybody out there who can't dance, I say just keep dancing and you'll be fine eventually. So this is Lauriston Hall, and before I went to Dartington, I used to go down to Lauriston for various non-violent direct action events. And then they started up a dance week. So while I was still at college at Dartington, I'd go to Lauriston in the summer and in the dance weeks teach a dance or two. I still remember the first time I taught the Miserlou there. It took 20 minutes, more or less. So this was 82, 83, 84. And at the same time, Kate was living there. Kate.
Yes, and interestingly, Lauriston Hall in the southwest of Scotland, very, very influential place for many people. The Miserlou was actually, as I remember it, the first sacred dance I learned. I can't remember how I learned it, but I used to play it. I used to sing it, and we will be doing it later, and I will be singing it. And my friend Mark Hall would play the accordion, and I sung it with a young German woman called Doro. I don't know what's happened to Doro. Is she out there somewhere? And I can't remember if it was Peter who was teaching it, but somebody taught it, and we learnt a few more sacred dances or circle dances, whatever we called them, and that was where it started for me. Yeah.
So
before I moved up to Findhorn.
Yeah. So this is me here dancing, and then while I was at Dartington, I very much wanted to come back to Findhorn, and I knew they were having a big festival in the summer of 1985, and I very much wanted to come up to the festival, but didn't have enough money. But at Dartington, they used to give you money to go on courses. So they gave me money to come up to Findhorn, during term time actually, for this festival. So this festival in 1985, a big event that kind of was the last time Bernard came to Findhorn, and also kind of marked a point, as we'll talk in a moment, of the kind of spread of circle dance, because Colin Harrison was there. So I am down here, Colin's here, June Watts, Anna Barton, and then this is Bernard here, and Gabriela on the other side. So Rory was living at Findhorn at this time, but at this time all the sacred dance at Findhorn was done to recorded music. And Rory and Kate came up just shortly after this and have a little story about this.
Ha! This is my favourite story. It was my experience week. Many of you who've been to Findhorn will know about the experience week. And on the last night of the experience week, it was Midsummer's Eve. And I was falling in love with Rory. And it was full moon. And it was just absolutely one of those incredible nights. And I'd been used to being at Lauriston, where we did all these wild, crazy live music events. And I came to Findhorn, and Rory said, there's going to be sacred dancing outside round a bonfire. Yes, sounds perfect. And we got there, and it was very interesting because there was a fabulous person leading the dances, but he had a big ghetto blaster, what we called a ghetto blaster. A tape recorder?
Yep.
For those of you who remember what a tape recorder is, a big machine that played music. And he had it on his, and a wire running across. And everybody was dancing around this fire. And I turned, and he taught the dance, then he switched on the machine, and I turned to Rory and I said, this is the last time we will see anything like that here. From now on, it will be live music. Yeah, why not? And we were pretty ropey in the early days, but we managed. Go on, Peter.
Yep. So the same year as the festival was the Glastonbury dance camp with Colin Harrison. And Colin Harrison had learned sacred dance from David Roberts. And Colin was a huge part of the circle dance movement in England, partly because he changed the name from sacred dance to circle dance. Years later, we kind of went back to sacred circle dance, but Colin was very much of the view that everybody should circle dance. He really wanted to take it out into the world in a big way. So he set up this dance camp in Glastonbury with a lot of live music. He created a band to play circle dance music. Dancing Circles 1, some of you will still have the tape. Winds on the Tour came from Dancing Circles 2. Other bands came there, Blozabella, big influence on Rory, English Macedonian dance band in a way. Mara came from Australia. So there was a lot of, there was belly dance there was a lot of cross-fertilization in dance. And although Kate and Rory didn't come to the first, after the Glastonbury camps, we moved Peace Through the Arts, because there's so few pictures of the early days of Dance Camp Wales, but it was the same with teepees and marquees and fires and circles. And Kate and Rory, did you come together to the second dance camp in Wales?
We came to the second festival, and we were hired to be children's circle dance musicians, and then I started with Carolyn Bithell, we started the choir. So we ran the choir at Dance Camp Wales, but that's where we continued. And it was the energy from that dance camp that... Shall I move on to the festival here?
No, so we just got one more picture, just to show you. This is Dee, and the Wall, Andy Bettis, Anna Katja-Garland, myself here, quite a number of people, Francis, quite a number of people from the early days of camp that people will know. But yes, let's go on to, this is, this is very soon after Kate and Rory swore celebrations would never more have recorded music. This actually, I think, is an equinox celebration at Killearn. And you can see Kate, Rory, and Chris Power at the centre.
And the child who has grown a bit bigger.
Yes, so Liam is...
In there somewhere.
Yes. So, your inspiration for the festival, Kate?
Yeah, well, the inspiration for the Sacred Dance Festival, which is, I think we call it the Dance of what do we call it now?
Festival of Sacred Dance, Music and Song.
Was to bring the energy from the camps up to Findhorn and to mix the fabulous sensitivity to spirituality that we have up here and the love of dance with the wildness and the joy of the camps. So I invited, well, I think for that first one I invited Peter up because it was obvious that I don't think he was living here at the moment, that he should come up and do that. And every year, I ran it for the first 3 years, but the first year we invited Colin Harrison. There he is in his fabulous shirt with his partner, Anne. And there's Rory in the other fabulous shirt. And I think that's possibly Barbara and Lily. And that first festival, and the other important aspects of it was that we ran a choir and a scratch band for anybody to play. But what I wanted to point out here was a couple of things that Colin said. He said, because we were newbies really at this circle dance playing, and he said the two most important things for a dance band are rhythm and enthusiasm. And I've stayed with that, and I particularly wanted to bring us back to that today. Rhythm and enthusiasm. Any of you who are sitting out there who play any instrument at all, just get out there and play for the dancers, because the other thing that I got from Colin was this story. The archetypal anthropologist goes to the tribe and says, I want to film you dancing with the musicians. Goes back later with the recording and says, okay, I'm going to play the recording. Can you do the dance? And the guy says, we can't dance to that machine because it can't see us. And that is the most important thing I wanted to put over and about live music, is that it's the relationship between the singers and the musicians and the dancers is so important. And I'm quite happy, we've had people playing all sorts of instruments. We do our best to honor the traditions, and we do our best to be authentic. But at the end of the day, we are who we are, and the most important thing is to have fun. and to get people's feet moving. And so the rhythm and the enthusiasm. That's what I wanted to say.
So this is one of the early festivals, and I hope you can see the enthusiasm happening there. At the back, we've got Rory, Andreas, who played fiddle. Those of you who come to Fintorn regularly may know Marga van Greta, who used to play in the band in the early days. I'm here in the middle. And it was just, the early festivals, starting from 92 onwards, it was just such a celebration of dance. And the choir, singing was equally important. Here's UK, it was one of the early choirs. So Anna was still dancing a lot in those days. Here's Anna, and you can see Kate, Andreas, and this is Rory during his white trouser and waistcoat period.
That's his wedding outfit, actually.
So, the way I started dancing with children was kind of by mistake. I was traveling in the States teaching dance, and I said, it's very important, to do these dances with children, to encourage children to dance, because children really want to dance. And somebody said to me, oh, good, will you come to my school tomorrow and teach? And I was like, yeah, fine, I'll do that. So I started at 9 o'clock with primary 1, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was finishing up with primary 7. So by the end of the day, I had learned how to teach dance to children, although it was quite a close-run thing at certain points with the boys. I love dancing with boys. I was coming down here for a quick demonstration of dancing with boys. So the teachers sat at the side and just looked on. This was like, we were up to primary 6. And I had like 3 boys either side. And they hadn't had so much fun for a long time. Because we'd do the dance, and then they'd just drop down and kind of enjoy being dragged along the ground, so to speak, while the teachers just looked on and went, well, that's the boys for you. Anyway, there were certain dances that we'd learned from Colin, actually, that had, clapping and stamping, and the kids really got into those. So, yeah, dancing with children, highly recommended. So this is us dancing in the community with the children. You'll see Rory Rory playing flute there, Barbara on accordion, Bill drumming, Andreas. So this is me leading the dance. And for those of you who've been here to the festival regularly, you'll know Catherine Kuza, and this is Esther, her daughter. We're kind of an age where we work out what year the picture is by how old the children are.
Yeah.
And again, just for those of you who know Martine Winnington, who does a lot of the Bach flower dances, Martine did a very good thing when she was here. She really wanted us to dance outside, and we didn't have, well, you'll see in a minute, we've got a number of outdoor spaces, but she wanted us to create a particular dancing space outside, which is where we were dancing this morning, actually, for the equinox. I realized I haven't got any pictures of us dancing there. I have got this picture. Kate, this is, again, one of the early festivals where you were really keen that we should dance outside.
Yes.
Kate and Rory are in the middle here. You can just see Rory's red and yellow shirt.
I can say nothing about that, except you can see Peter's teepee.
Yeah, so that's that's the Field of Dreams behind. I was the first resident of the Field of Dreams in my teepee. And for those of you who know Eileen Caddy, this is Eileen down here in the foreground. Oh dear. So, in the Sacred Dance Festival, do you want to say something, Kate, about orchestra and choir and last night?
This is another of my favourite pictures. This is the massed orchestra and choir. And to my knowledge, in the time I've been here, this is the only time we've had, particularly the orchestra. It's Bill, who you can see leaping around at the front in the blue. He's he gathers together about 20 or 30 musicians. And when the festival goes live again, I'm sure you will be invited up to be part of it. It's fabulous. And then I have at the other end, or now Sheila does, a huge group of singers, and we yeah, it's just such fun. I can't say anything else.
So we might just quickly skip through a few pictures
Yeah.
here. We just got general pictures of Kate, Rory, and different bands. And one of the things we always say is, if there's a band forming, which instrument is Rory going to play in it? Because the jazz band, the Cayley band, the sacred dance band, the we need something. So you'll see Rory in a number of different bands here playing different instruments.
Laurie Sunshine on the harp.
I should say that all of the bands were made up of friends and who were either living here or had lived here, but most of them were residents. And they changed with the personnel. It's like people move in and out. And for a while we had people who do a lot of African music, so we added that to the template. And we've had some people who played Indian music, so we've done that. Well, Peter has carried on with the Indian band. But it's been very important, I think, to view ourselves as community musicians and artists, because it's not, we never really went on the road with it. Some people thought we should have. I have mixed feelings about that, but we certainly created it all in-house, and I feel very proud of that. I think that's one of the greatest contributions you can have to community life, is to have music played by community residents, and to develop those skills within the community itself, to express at community festivals and celebrations. And a lot of us didn't know very much about the instruments we were playing, but we picked it up in order to play for the dances. And circle dance is also very easy. There's a lot of simple enough stuff that you could make an entry with rudimentary musical knowledge, and then advance as far as you want to go. I think it's hard to beat it, really. And playing for dancers is an experience that most musicians never really have. And we've been spoiled with the abilities we've had to play live music for dancing in the community. Great thing. Yeah, thanks very much.
So Laura Shannon used to come up to visit the community, teach dance, and then she came up once, and there was a house on sale. And my memory is she kind of rang Andy Bettis up and said, Andy, I think we should move to Fintorn. There's a house for sale. Do you want to come up and have a look? And I think he flew up from London, where they were living at the time, and they moved in very quickly. So having Laura and Andy here, both as dance teachers and musicians, around the same time, 2001, we're not very good at dates anymore. Anybody out there remembers dates? Do tell us when everything happened. So Xenos came to visit. Maybe it was 2002. Xenos, who many of you will still dance to their recordings. So this is Andy Bettis here, one of the singers from Xenos, Laura Shannon, Stella, and Rory. So the ROM music really captivated us in a big way, and having Laura here was a real inspiration. Would you like to say something, Kate? Just, you know, after Xenos came, the whole music
yes,
thing.
Xenos came up several times, and with Laura, and they brought such an incredible, we were so privileged, Xenos, Australian band, playing mostly Roma music from the Roma community, and Greek music, and really just absolutely astounding, really, and it just inspired us all, I think, to as Rory was saying about being community levels, we just learned where we could, and we just, hopefully we went up a level with our, and I just found that singing the Roma songs, obviously you look at me, I have no Roma blood in me, but it felt like my soul had. And the music just touches my soul so much.
So at this point, there should have been a picture in the slideshow of Xenos, but there isn't. This is, again, Laura Shannon, you see here leading the dance, and Kate and others in the middle. And yeah, that was a wonderful period in the festivals. Sue appears now for the first time next to me, dancing. And this is the O'Connell family band, because Liam, the little baby that you saw earlier, is now up on stage with Kate and Rory and Bill. So, would you like to, would you like to say a little about the O'Connell family band?
Oh, that was such a special few years. Our son is now studying serious music at Bath University in his 30s, but he learnt his music, well, in the womb. He was up on this stage with me before he was born, and then it was lovely to watch that. He always had to be with me when I was singing in the early days. He wouldn't be sitting at the side. And yeah, when he was about 15, he played in the band, and my most favorite memory of all was playing the tango Miserlou, which hopefully some of you will know, and I think there was a version of it in Pulp Fiction. And Liam, of course, loved playing this. He brought out his electric guitar, and Laura Shannon said, "I've always wanted to play the drum kit." So for me, that was fabulous. We had Laura on the drum kit, Liam on the electric guitar, and our version of the Miserlou tango. Yes, Liam was with us for a few years, and then he moved on to his own career.
Yep. So we'll see some more pictures of Liam in the band shortly. But I'm going to take a brief diversion into singing conferences. Kate and Barbara organized Songs of Heaven and Earth many years ago, and then we went on to Universal Voices. This is one of the song conferences that Kate and Barbara that you see there organized. I hosted things, and there was some storytelling. Kathy Bullock came up for that, which again led to a great interest in gospel singing. But it's like, yes, any memories? Oh yes, so one of these conferences, Mike Scott was living in the community, and so Mike came to do a concert.
No, that's me, not Mike.
That's Kate leading the choir.
There's Mike.
So Mike, this is Mike with us dancing Piece of Iona around him. But Mike also used to play in the Cayley band. Rory, would you like to say something about playing with Mike in the Cayley band?
Yeah, Mike was great. I was trying to, we had a fundraising Cayley band for the Morey Steiner School. And we lost our guitar player at one point. And so I was auditioning people who played a guitar, and I kept meeting people. One person came up and said, what's that time signature? It was a 6/8. It was a jig, and he had never played anything other than 4/4, so that didn't work. We had another well-known guitarist come up and say, but I don't like folk music. And I said, that's a real setback. So I've sent a note to Mike, and I'm not sure that I titled it some kind of rock star. No, I probably just said Mike Scott. I didn't say anything. I said, Mike, I know he was staying at Cluny Hill at the time. He was taking time out from the music biz to feed his head, so to speak, and live in community, which he really enjoyed. But I said, this is the last thing in the world I know you want to do, but we need a guitar player in our band. Would you be interested? And he wrote back and said, when's the next rehearsal? So for quite a wee while we did it, and there's a chapter in his autobiography.
Oh, Rory, sorry, can you just move a little closer to the mic? We're not getting your sound.
Well, Mike joined our Cayley band for a wee while, I think maybe more than a year or so. And he does describe one of our gigs in his autobiography. And he describes it as the most surreal gig of his life. So that's my recommendation. Mike Scott's autobiography, which is a good read, and there's a chapter about the Cayley Band. So there you go.
Moving on, this is me. Oh, well, it was me. This is me with one of my lesser successful haircuts. But this is Nikomo and Rasula. Nikomo, they came up for some of our singing conferences. Nikomo, it's really good to honor him, and Rasula. They have done huge things for particularly the voice network, Unicorn Voice Camps, for the circle dance networks down south. Rory playing the sax.
We've got a few pictures of Rory, just with his collection of instruments.
That looks like a photo. Yeah, like a
So
painting.
we're just going to keep going. I'm getting the signal.
Keep going.
So Burns Night is a big part of community life. This is Rory piping in the haggis. And we mentioned the seasonal festivals earlier. So this is our Bridget festival that we have every year, and Rory playing a little tune. And Brant appears now in the slideshow. And Sheila, Sue, and Kunier, who we are dancing with today. So celebrating the seasonal festivals, and Rory very much part of getting a band together to play the music for those. This is Beltane outside dancing around the maypole. And celebration of my birthday with Sue, because pretty much every year my birthday falls within the festival. So Sue is responsible for finding cake for 100. So we're back to the O'Connell family band again.
Yes, that's the 15-year-old son.
And Sue on stage here with Kate and the O'Connells.
Yes, that was lovely.
So Kate and Lucy, who you saw a long time ago at the beginning, this is them much more recently, still singing on stage together.
With Kiki. Kiki. Cayley Land.
So in the festival, we always have an evening of Celtic music, a Cayley as we say, and this is Sue and myself, Rory playing with Jerry on the guitar. And then we mentioned Colin Harrison earlier, and Judy King organised an event to bring people together for a celebration of Sacred Circle Dance. And this is Colin, myself, and Anna Barton. We all met up there. So we're coming to the end of the slideshow. We hope you've been enjoying everything, and for those of you who've enjoyed this taste of the festival, we have another taste of the festival coming up with the centrepiece and Brant and the celebration of India. And I'm going to be sharing some dances with video behind me from the festival of some of the Indian dances. And this is storytelling during Indian night at the festival. And are we posting something in the chat, Brant, about the centrepiece?
Yes, well, we'll be sending out information on our newsletter, and at the end of this, I'll put some information in the chat for you. So, and it's going to be a lovely evening, and I believe Renata's in the room right now, Renata from Brazil, who's going to be joining us, and some other brilliant teachers from across the globe. So thank you.
So we're going to, we just have, yes, one last picture from a recent Ceilidh. So we're going to...
Just to remind you, we're actually in Scotland.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So it's back to Brant and Mariiko. No, we're doing the Miserlou first.
Miserlou.
So back to the picture of us live. I just have to put myself back together a little bit. So the Miserlou, we're going to dance to Sto Periali, the Theodorakis song that many of you will know from the singing of Maria Faranturi. So we just walk through the steps. We're going to go side and point, and behind, side, in front. Swivel, right, little lift, back, 2, 3, and side and point. Behind, side, in front. Swivel, right, lift, left, right, side, right. Again, and behind, side, in front. Swivel, 1, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3, and side, and point. And behind, side, in front. Swivel, 1, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3, and side, and point. Would you like to come and join me, Sue?
Let's see if you give us a note. Sto Periali to Carifo, a song about lovers on the beach, by the wonderful Greek composer Theodorakis. Asperosan peristeri Thipsas ameto messimeri Matroni roclifo Thipsas ameto messimeri Grapsa metonomatis Orea puphysic xenobatis Que sophistici graphi Orea puphysic xenobatis This is the Findhorn wave.
So, I'll pass you over to...
Yes. So the next dance is a dance which I have learned with a few different people in the community, and it's I suppose a little bit of variation in it, and it's Mariiko, and I'm going to let Kate explain something about it once I've shown you the steps. So the steps are, we go off on the right with the right, and we go 1, 2, 3, and 4, side, and a nice slow dip. 1, we do that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, side, and dip. Now we do the similar, but a little different step. Right, left, and side, and dip. Right, left, side, and dip. So this is the first part of the pattern. So I'll just run through that again with you. Maybe I'll do it from this side so you can see. So we go right, left, side, and dip. 1, 2, 3, 4, side, and dip. 1, 2, dip. 1, 2, side, and dip. And then we do a little sway to the right and sway to the left. So we run this pattern through twice, and then we have another pattern, which is the second pattern. I'll come over here so I can just show you. We're going off on the right, so we'll be lifting our hands as we're going in. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, right, dip, left, dip. We go back on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, right, dip, left, dip. So the dips are just a little, maybe I'll do it this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right, dip, left, dip. Back, 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 dip, and dip. And then we go back to the pattern after this, because your right leg will be ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, side and dip. 1, 2, 3, 4, side and dip. 1, 2, side and dip. 1, 2, side and dip. And sway, sway. 1, 2, 3, 4, side and dip. Right, left, side and dip. Right, left, side and dip. Right, left, side and dip. And sway, ready to go in. 1, 2, 3, 4, dip and dip. Back, 2, 3, 4, side and dip. Dip and dip. So I hope everybody's got that. And this is a kind of beautiful chance to really get into the dips, because the dips are so slow, even though it's the melody takes us along. It's a great chance to just go into the dips. Oh, wow. Can you feel that dip? Like this. So I would like, if possible, for Kate to come in at this point and say about the dance, about the music.
Oh, I think the easiest thing for me to do is just read the words, because they're beautiful.
And it's from Bulgaria.
It's from Bulgaria. Mariiko. So that's the girl. Mariiko, my little son, come out into the yard so I can see you, your beautiful black eyes. I wonder how black they are. Oh, young man, strong and young, have you seen the rocks on the mountain, how black they are? My eyes are twice, thrice as black. Mariiko, my large star, come out into the garden so I can see you, your beautiful face. I wonder how fair it is. Oh, young man, strong and young, have you seen on the mountains? Have you seen the beautiful white snow? My face is twice, thrice as fair. Mariiko.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Such wonderful, relaxing, joyful music from Kate and Rory there. So our next dance is back over to Peter, I believe.
No, it's you, my darling.
Oh, is it me? Yes. So I. Oh, yeah. We need you here as well. So.
We just have 2 more dances.
Yes, and La Rose en Flores, which is done to a Jeni Jol. We're going to do a Jeni Jol today. And this beautiful, delicious music. I'll just show you the Jeni Jol steps. Off on the right with the right. And we touch and step, and touch and step, touch. Then we face center. And we have our weight on the right, left and right, and touch. We do another weight lift. So we go. I'm going to do it from behind so that you can see it properly. So touch and step, touch and step, touch, changing weight, touch, changing weight, touch and step, and touch. Use your hips to move. 1, and you touch. Use your hips again, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Touch. 1, 2, 3. Touch and step, touch and step, touch. 1, 2, 3. Touch. 1, 2, 3. Touch and step, touch and step, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3. And when our feet kind of go 1, 2, 3, like we're touching the ground, and we can really connect with the ground below us as they would do in a community setting, really feeling that earth. And we'll be in W hold, and I'll just run through one more time. Touch and step, and touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3. That's the whole dance. So, yes, enjoy. This music is wonderful. So,
I'm just going to take a moment to tune.
yes. Yeah, we just do it like this. Yeah.
You might want to keep talking while I'm doing this if there's anything else you want or teach me.
Okay.
Or not.
Actually, I can tell you the name of the Jeni Jol. It means new road, so it's a new way, and I guess we're all getting used to new ways at the moment with what's going on in the world. So this is a chance to relax into what's happening and go with the flow somehow.
Sorry, now you have to tell a joke.
Peter.
So, Rory plays the bagpipes. I tell bagpipe jokes.
Oh,
Okay, this is going to be a big problem in translation. What is the difference between a Harley Davidson motorbike and a set of bagpipes?
I know the answer. You can tune a Harley Davidson.
So the answer is you can tune a Harley Davidson.
What's the difference between an onion and a bagpipe? I don't know what
People cry when you cut
People cry
cut
when you
cut
cut
it
up an onion.
For the sake of balance, we should have an accordion joke. What do you call 100 accordions in a swimming pool?
I don't know, what do you call it?
A good start.
A good, that's the one. Or what do you call 100 bagpipes on a bonfire? A good start. Cruel.
It's a noble instrument.
I'm getting there. I'm nearly there.
What do you call a man who can play the bagpipes but doesn't?
A gentleman.
Ah. Okay.
La Rose en Flores. This is a Sephardic Jewish song, and it speaks of the beauty and the intense pain of love as the rose, of the beauty of the rose with its thorns.
Sufriendo del amor, mi alma se curece, sufriendo del amor. Los biblios cantan, sospiran del amor, de la pasión me mata, mushigua mi dolor, de la pasión me mata. Más presto than paloma, más presto than Ami, más presto tu mi alma, que yo me voy morir, más presto tu mi alma, que yo me voy soffriendo, soffriendo dell'amor, soffriendo dell'amor, soffriendo dell'amor, e la rosa, la rosa, la rosa, e la rosa, la rosa, la rosa.
Of the rose in that music there. Thank you, Kate and Rory. So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. And it was nice to have Peter and Sue dance here at the back. Thank you. I think we're over to Peter now.
Do we just want to do it short? What's your sense of timing?
No, long. I think it's very low.
When do we finish?
5:30.
Oh, I thought it was 5.
No. We're just whispering. I don't know if you can hear us whispering. So it's time for the last dance. We've suddenly run very far ahead of time. But before the last dance, we have some thank yous to hand out. So behind the scenes, there's a lot going on, but you can't see it. So we've got Nikki on camera. Ray! Who's been improvising very well, and then Brian on sound.
Yay!
And then we have to thank particularly Sue and Kunier for coming along and dancing alongside each of us. But we're not going to actually see them, but we are going to see them in a moment. And then Brant for thinking the whole thing up. Brant has done a lot, as you know, with the centerpiece and bringing people together. So we're all very appreciative of Brant, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, absolutely.
But most of all, without Kate and Rory, there wouldn't be a show.
Without you asking us, Peter.
So there's some other people out there in Zoom world. Do you want to thank them, Brant?
Yes, thank you to Tatiana Gornstein and Tanya, who does the photos. Thank you both so much for helping us along. And yes, everybody who came today and helped us celebrate Kate and Rory and Peter and Sue and everyone who keeps Sacred Dance going. So I love the idea that we all celebrate that. So yes, that's great. So thank you both, the two techie
Okay,
people.
I have to say something because I always have to say something.
Yes.
I've been very touched by Brant's enthusiasm and delight and support of myself and Rory in this music, because we've been sitting at home for the last year, wondering what had happened to music. And just remembering, particularly when we sang the Lo Yisa Goy, the important power of music and song to take our world forward. And yeah.
Thank you, Kate. So wonderful. Yes. So.
And before the last dance, we were hoping to be doing more of this in July. It's not completely clear how open Scotland is going to be in July. At the moment, we're only able to be in here under film and TV guidelines, so we can't have members of the public in. But by July, we're hoping to be able to have a fair circle of people in here dancing. So Kate and Rory will be back with live music, perhaps with Rory!
With a bigger band.
Bigger band. And
More bagpipes, yes.
More bagpipes.
And we're expecting Laura Shannon to zoom in from Greece, although people should be able to be in the hall. International travel, we think, is still going to be very problematic in July. So most of you probably won't be able to be here, but we hope to be able to have an online gathering as well as people in the hall. And we'll be emailing you out when we know more of how this is going to work. So we're going to do Erev Shel shoshanim, and then you're going to come back in, Brant, for like a closing attunement after that, are you?
You were going to tune us out, but we will have a few announcements about the next centrepiece, but we'll do that after Peter tunes us out, I believe.
Okay, very good. Always good to know what's going to happen before the last dance starts. Something we always mention in the teacher training. So, Kate, do you want to tell us about the song, and then I'll teach us the dance?
Yes, this is an Israeli song called An Evening of Roses, Erev Shel Shoshanim. And I've just found this translation, which is from Carmela. I'm sure some of us may or may not remember Carmela, who used to be here. You remember, don't you?
Yeah, Sean and Carmela together.
Sean and Carmela, yes.
They're still together.
Are they? I have no idea.
I heard that the other day.
Anyway, the evening scent, here we're back with roses. The evening scent of roses. We go into the garden, a perfumed twilight, an altar of petals at your feet. Night descends slowly, scented breezes breathing. To you I whisper a song of love. The dove of dawn returns. I caress your dew-sparkling curls. I pluck your mouth as a morning rose. Remember that, Peter, next time you take Sue into the garden. Excuse me.
So, the steps, walking to the right, beginning with the right foot, walking right, slowly left, grapevine, side, behind, and in front, and side, tap the left, and tap the right twice. Walk, slowly, side, behind, and in front, then side, and brush, and side, in place. So, walk, and side, behind, and in front, and side, and tap, tap, side, and tap again. Walk, and side, behind, and in front, and side, and brush, and in place. Walk right, and left, and side, behind, and in front, and side, and tap, tap, replace, and tap, tap, and walk, and side, behind, and in front, and side, and brush, and in place, and walk, 1, 2, 3, 4, side, and tap, tap, side, and tap, tap, and walk, and side, behind, and in front, and side, and brush, and in place. So, Sue, come into my garden of roses.
של shoshanim נצא אל הבוסתן מור בסמים ולבונה לרגלך מפתן ערב של shoshanim נצא אל הבוסתן מור בסמים ולבונה לרגלך מפתן לילה יורד לאט ורוח שושן נושבה הבה אל השלך שיר בלט זמר של אהבה לילה יורד לאט ורוח שושן נושבה הבה אל השלך שיר בלט זמר של אהבה שחר הומיונה ראשך מלא צללים פיחל הבוקר שושנה אכתפנו לי שחר הומיונה ראשך מלא צללים פיחל הבוקר שושנה אכתפנו לי לילה יורד לאט ורוח שושן נושבה אבל השלך שיר בלט זמר של אהבה לילה יורד לאט ורוח שושן נושבה אבל השלך שיר בלט זמר של אהבה shoshanim נצא אל הבוסתן מור בסמים ולבונה לרגלך מפתן ערב של shoshanim נצא אל הבוסתן מור בסמים ולבונה לרגלך מפתן. לילה יורד לאט, ורוח שושן נושבה, אבל השלך שיר בלט, זמר של אהבה. לילה יורד לאט, ורוח שושן נושבה, אבל השלך שיר בלט, זמר של אהבה. Shel shoshanim netsen al habustan, mor besamim ulevona leragelech miftan. Erev shel shoshanim netsen al habustan, mor besamim ulevona leragelech miftan. לילה יורד לאט, ברוח שושן נושבה, אבל השלך שיר בלט, זמר של אהבה. לילה יורד לאט, ברוח שושן נושבה, אבל השלך שיר בלט, זמר של אהבה. זמר של אהבה, זמר של אהבה, זמר של אהבה.
So wherever you are, imagining perhaps the scent of some flowers coming to you on a gentle breeze, and connecting with this blessing of nature, the magic of the earth, the water, the fire and the air that causes all things to grow, and giving thanks for this opportunity for just a brief time to grow together with the music, the song, the dance, that grow also from the earth. Bless us with their fruits, their nourishment, and their perfume. And so just as we have received a gift, so too we return this gift to the earth with our blessings of peace and hope for the future that comes towards us. So thank you to the flowers, thank you to this beautiful building, thank you to all of you out there in the Zoom world, and just feeling everything around us and giving thanks for this opportunity to share all around the world. Thank you very much, and blessings upon us all.
And I believe you've got a chance to join us next week on the centerpiece. Oh, we should actually, before we do that, blow the candle out.
Blow the light out. Can we zoom in a little on the roses? Would you like to
Yes.
send the light out, Brant?
We'll send the light out to all our friends across the globe in the family of Sacred Dance. Nice to see you here. And yes, we'll blow the light out to those who need.